Applying the concrete stain. Applying concrete stain is relatively simple. Really, you just spray it on or brush it on, and you allow it to dry and react the proper amount of time, and then you neutralize the stain and wash it off. The way that you would apply it is you would use an all-plastic pump-up sprayer. It's important that your sprayer be all plastic and not have any metal parts, as the acid will just eat right through the metal. If you decide to use a brush, then you can use a brush with a bucket, but if you do use a brush, be very careful because drips and splashes can occur very easily. Acid stain is liquid like water, so you really have to be careful. If you're going to spray it, then you just put it in the pump-up sprayer and you just spray it on. You'll hold your nozzle about a foot or so up from the concrete, and you will spray on enough to saturate the concrete well, but not so much that it would puddle or it would run if it were on an incline. If you're going to brush it, then you'll put your brush in the stain, shake off the excess, set your brush down, and brush it in a circular motion. If you're going to do a multicolor or have a pattern, then you will set the stain down away from the edge and brush in a circular motion up to the edge, so that once your brush reaches the edge, it is not still saturated with stain, so it doesn't easily run out, but rather you're dragging the stain to the edge. Another thing that you can do is a combination of spraying and brushing. You can spray it on and then follow behind with a brush in a circular motion to even it out and take out any puddles and make sure that it gets up along the edges real good and underneath baseboards and that sort of thing.
We recommend spraying only, but if you do decide to brush, make sure that you don't brush back and forth because that will leave brush marks. What you'd want to do is actually brush in a circular motion. That way, you don't see the brush marks, it just looks like texture in the concrete.
If you do that, then bear in mind you are not scrubbing the stain. You're only moving it around, and only just moving it around once, and get on with it. If you're going to do more than one coat, like if you're using a standard grade stain, or if you're just choosing to do more than one coat, then you could spray and brush the first coat and then just spray only the second coat.
Of stain. 2 coats of stain. Don't be that guy. If you're putting on more than 1 coat of stain, you don't need to neutralize the first one. Put on your first coat, let it dry, apply the second one, then neutralize it all at once.
Oh, yeah. I knew that.
Yeah, of course.
I knew that.
Of course you did.
I knew it.
Regardless of how you apply the stain, you need to be sure that you work from wet edge to wet edge. Don't let the stain dry on you. Concrete stain will dry as fast or faster than water will, and it's very important that you work from wet edge to wet edge. If it dries before you get back to it, then the little edge where you overlap will actually be a second coat, and you could create lines that you would rather not have.
If you don't end up using plastic and tape to protect your walls, you can just use a cardboard shield that protects from overspray getting on it.
As I just mentioned, the stain will dry as faster than water. However, that doesn't mean that your reaction time is over. It is recommended that you allow the stain to react with the concrete for at least a few hours and up to 24 hours.
Here's a quick tip. If you would like to have a lighter version of the stain, then what you would do is, after you apply it, wait 2 to 3 hours, then neutralize the stain, and you have a beautiful light colored stain. But if you want it to be a darker version, then you let the stain sit overnight, next day, neutralize it, and bam, you've got a beautiful dark stain.
Another way to get a lighter color is, of course, to dilute the stain with water. And another way to get a darker color is to do more than one coat.
If you're working on a wall or step facing, then your stain will have a tendency to run a little bit. If it runs a little bit, then you can take this brush, go in a circular motion like so, and always remember to work from the top down.
So bear in mind, if you're doing a porch that has steps, or if you're doing a wall, to have a brush handy to brush out those runs as you go. Remember to do a test in an out-of-the-way area like a closet or a pull equipment pad or such before you do the entire job, so that you can be sure that you like the color and that it's reacting properly with the concrete. And remember to maintain a clean entry and exit point. Maintain adequate ventilation and keep a safe working environment for the project. And that concludes applying the stain section.